If I go real back, as far as my parents are concerned, if you look at my parents' past, then I don't think I should be having dialogue, actually, or promoting dialogue. Because my father's monastery was bombarded and reduced to rebels in 1956. He was a monk. So he fled to Lhasa and joined the guerrilla force. Is that from Beijing? So he joined the guerrilla force, he fought against the Red Army, he got wounded and died. He got wounded, I'm sorry. Then his sister, my auntie, her husband also fought against the Chinese army and got killed. Now, because her husband fought, she had to endure weekly humiliation. She was paraded in her village every week, and she was taunted and humiliated by neighbors, including relatives. She found her weekly humiliation so unbearable. She was pregnant at that time with an infant child. She jumped into the river and committed suicide. And from her mother's side, when she escaped, she was a teenager, 17 years old. She broke her leg. Her mother, my grandmother, died of malaria. My uncle died on the way escaping. And one of my uncles went back to Tibet to fight against the Red Army, and he never returned. And we assume he got killed. So these are some of the stories of my family. And there are many, many stories of my story. It's very similar to other Tibetan families. So with that past, it's very difficult for me to sit across and have dialogue. At least initially I had a difficult experience. But over time, I've cultivated a little bit of compassion, maybe a little bit of tolerance, and then I, despite my family past, despite past what happened to Tibet, I do believe dialogue is the step forward, and we should have peoples-to-peoples dialogue. And eventually, hopefully, if China is pyramid, and Chinese leaders are on top, we will make efforts to have dialogue at every layer of the pyramid so that it will reach to the top. That is our hope. Now, as for your question, what are the chances of communication, whether there are other means or not, I'm yet to be inaugurated. My inauguration will be on August 8th. So Papa will be the number when I'll be inaugurated. And I'll inaugurate on 88999. August 8th, 9 a.m., 9 minutes, 9 seconds. So Papa, Jo. That will be my inauguration. So I'm looking forward to the spokesman of Foreign Ministry of China criticizing Papa, Jo. So how can Chinese criticize prosperity and longevity? And look forward to that. Having said that, Papa, Jo, is a secondary reason why I will have inauguration on August 8th. The reason why I'm having inauguration August 8th is very simple. The President Kalunchepa and his cabinet, their term ends on midnight of August 14th. So I had to be inaugurated a week prior to August 14th, that week. So for Tibetans, Wednesday is a good day, because that's when His Holiness Dalai Lama was born. So one option was Wednesday, that's August 10th. Then I asked my mother, she told me as per my horoscope, again, we consult horoscope, we have to consult. She said, Fridays and Mondays are good for me. And as far as my horoscope, okay, Friday, Wednesday, and fallback plan, Wednesday as the preferred day. So I went to Dharamsala, we checked His Holiness' schedule, even though His Holiness has devolved all his political power, but as a Tibetan, after the inauguration, I want to be blessed by His Holiness, right? So we want to be blessed by His Holiness. So I wanted to have His Holiness in town on that day. So we checked His Holiness' calendar, but His Holiness has to be in France on August 13th. It's already scheduled several months ago, in fact a year ago. So he was leaving town, Dharamsala, on August 10th. So that means August 10th, the Wednesday, is a little tricky. Then I'm left only with Monday. My mother told me it's a good day for me. That happens to be August 8th. Okay. And then we looked at Tibetan Buddhist calendar. August 8th happens to be a very auspicious day, because that's when Guru Rinpoche, or the Padmasambhava, was born. You know Padmasambhava, the Indian yogi who spread Buddhism in Tibet. That's the day he was born. So Trupe Tsechu is a very auspicious Buddhist day. So on very auspicious Buddhist day, as by my mother, very good day for me, Monday. And as for Tibetans, when His Holiness will be, Dalai Lama will be in town, that's when I'm getting inaugurated. So Papa Jojo has secondary reason, okay? Now, you can write all you want. But for Tibetans also, Papa, number 8 is good sign, good number. Number 9 is also quite good, but it's good in a different way. That is when you want to do something big, when you want to kind of fight with the evil spirit, then number 9 is very good. So that way, Papa Jojo, Ge Gu Gu Gu, is the time and date when I'll inaugurate it. Why I say this is because I learned that Yang Jia is arranging some of his friends to come for the inauguration. And so we are looking forward to be some of you in Dharamsala on Papa, and I get inaugurated Jojo. Yes.
Just say. So one more question， 因为我时间可能已经不比较多了。那个王教授的手举了很半天了。
You can hear me.
Yes, say it.
We certainly hope you a very auspicious inauguration. My question is about the possible impact of His Holiness' devolution of power on the prospect of Sino-Tibetan dialogue. When His Holiness was both the religious and the political leader, the Chinese consider him an obstacle, although those of us in the United States consider him a solution because the so-called Tibetan issue seems easier when the Dalai Lama is still alive. Now you are the political leader. I wonder if Beijing will deal with you a little differently. Maybe perhaps this will be you are obviously Dalai Lama. You are Harvard educated. You invested 16 years in Sino-Tibetan dialogue. I wonder this will actually be an auspicious start.
I hope so, but 2 days after the final vote was cast by Tibetans, on I think March 22nd, they labeled me something. They gave me a bad name, actually. Since then, there has been press releases and statements saying that they don't want to talk to me. And I understand, actually, why? Because in the Tibetan vote and the Chinese vote, now I'm not including Taiwan here, okay? I'm the only person who has a democratic mandate. Right? I got elected through democratic process. So obviously, Beijing has, reason to be skeptical and perhaps a little bit fearful, because talking to me will amount to legitimizing the Tibetan democratic election and the mandate we have received. So that's why they said they don't want to talk to me, which is fine. Now it's part of the script. You don't know whether they will say one thing and whether they will do something else or not. But as far as we are concerned, what we say is, whether Beijing wants to talk to the Tibetan administration in India or not is secondary. For us, the process is not important. Whether they talk to my representative or not is not important. For us, substance is more important. If Beijing still says they want to talk to only the envoys of the Dalai Lama, yes, I will appoint envoys and I'll borrow His Holiness' name and send them to Beijing, right? So they will talk to Beijing. If process is of concern to Beijing, we will fulfill that process. What we care is the substance. If Beijing is sincere and they want to solve the issue, if they have substantive dialogue to resolve the issue of Tibet, we are ready to fulfill the technical or formal or process requirement. In that sense, again, as I said, we are willing to do anything, and we are willing to meet them anywhere. So that's where we stand. Again, I just want to end by saying His Holiness' vision is to have secular, democratic Tibetan society. And that's the duty I have to fulfill. Move the Tibetan society towards a secular, democratic society. And His Holiness' expectation is that Tibetan people stand on our own feet and strengthen our freedom movement and sustain it for a prolonged period of time, for as long as it takes to restore freedom in Tibet. That is his expectation. And that is the, and that's the duty I must fulfill. And what we will do is we will put Tibet and Tibetan people front and center, even though we have different views in our community, with the youth and student wing on one side and the Tibetan administration on the other side. But these are differences of views. There are no divisions in the society, and far less there are no factions in the society. The difference of views. Difference of views are tolerated and encouraged because our Tibetan society is a democratic society where we have freedom of speech and freedom of thought. So people can express their views and share about why they stand for independence and why they stand for middle way, which are encouraged. But we will not let it become divisions and not have all factions at all. So that will continue, and we will put Tibet and Tibetan people at the front and center. That even youth or student group, we all put Tibetan people at front and center, and unitedly we'll move forward, and we will have, Tibetan movement led by Tibetan people and carry forward, and we will be there how long ever it takes. And I have to play this transition leadership role in some ways because I'm the younger generation who were born, brought, in exile. But I have, my duty is to continue the legacy of the elder generation and build on the hard work of the elder generation, and then build a sustainable, stronger freedom movement. That's my job, and I'll do so. And then looking at some of the Tibetan youth now in their 20s and 30s and all the Ivy League universities in America, I'm absolutely certain the Tibetan leadership will become much more cosmopolitan, much more sophisticated, much more talented over the coming years, and we will be there till freedom is restored in Tibet. That we are absolutely convinced. And till then, we'll continue to have dialogue with Chinese friends and over, Mafu Tofu, and then we will solve the issue of Tibet. Thank you.
Thank you. 因为时间的关系，不能再有更多问题了啊，不能更多问题了。我现在把他刚最后讲的几个要点讲一下，可能有一些人会感兴趣，可能那个英语方面的可能交通有点困难。他这个刚才讲麻婆豆腐，因为他喜欢这个麻婆豆腐啊。他说我有一个要点是什么呢？他说，这个第一，中国政府已经回应了，说不要跟他谈，不要跟他对话，已经公开的回应不跟他对话。他说他不在乎，就是无论是跟他对话，或者给这个流亡政府要的对话，都不是重要的。他说这都是次要的考虑，最主要的考虑是根本的东西，是不是要进行实质性的对话？如果中国政府认为，虽然达赖喇嘛已经退出政治，但是这个区域对话的这个谈判呢，他仍然要求是用达赖喇嘛尊者的名义的这个使者的名义去的话，这个也是可以考虑的，就是可以进行的啊。这是一个。第二个呢，他这个认为达赖喇嘛有个愿景，这个愿景就是把这个藏人的社会变成了一个非宗教的，就政教分离的，是世俗的民主的社会。这是他认为是他的责任，他必须去完成这个达赖喇嘛这个愿景。他觉得达赖喇嘛还希望藏人就是说能够自治，依靠自己。依靠自己的意思不是依靠一个像达赖喇嘛尊者这样的一个伟大领袖，然后能够把这个继续的向前，把这个西藏的这个自由运动继续的推向前进。而Lobsang Sangye博士表示，就是无论这个时间多久，他认为他们都会坚持下去，而且他们一定会取得这个胜利。而且他认为他是一个这个转型式的一个人物，这个就是说他是一个在藏区长大的这一代人里边的第一代的领袖，而他这一代人在世界上受到教育是非常广泛的。他相信下一代的领导人将会更加世界化，更加世俗化，而且更加民主化。所以这样说，这道路他会永远走下去，而且藏人会在这种道路上一直走到这个实现自己的目标。这就是他演讲的一个主要的要点。所以 ，Thank you very much for sharing your experience and thoughts. So I really appreciate your time and wish you best of luck.
谢谢。